محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أيها الحفل الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear respected audience, first of all, let us praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because of His blessings, we're able to come here today to learn a little bit about what the ICD stands for and what the ICD contributes towards its clients. The ICD Client Day provides the opportune showcase to some of the ICD's clients. It allows you, the audience, to hear from our clients directly the true, unfiltered feedback on ICD's interventions and financing mechanisms and how they work in the field. The three clients that will be showcased today have been shortlisted to illustrate the different sectors that the ICD operates in. Before we begin our day, please help me welcome to the stage our very own ICD's CEO, Brother Khalid Al-Aboudi, for his opening remark.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Brothers and sisters, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning for everyone and welcome to ICD Client Day. I'm indeed grateful for all of you to attend this event with us today. It's a pleasure to deliver the keynote speech here with this August gathering of ICD clients and guests. Allow me to start with an overview of ICD operation and its achievement, both in operation and development front. I also seek your active participation and encourage you to share your thoughts and experience on how we can work better together to serve our member countries and Muslim communities across the globe. Dear guests, during the last year, 2016, ICD achieved good results in a number of encouraging milestones. We delivered a record amount of financing for private sector development, totaling more than $824 million. The ICD investment provided growth for further development and opportunities for more than 23 member countries. Our impact on private sector development stretches over a wide range of sectors, reflecting our responsiveness to the needs of the market as well as the corporation's strategic priorities and goals. In order to conform to our channel strategy, we approved about $462 million worth of investment in 2016 in the financial sector. This is equivalent to 56% of our total approval in that year. The remaining $362 million was allocated to new projects in the corporate sector and in high-impact sectors such as industry and mining, energy and infrastructure. We're also happy to report that we did our first PPP in 2016 and more to come. Our asset management activities also maintain a growth trajectory with $115 million of approval last year, increasing total asset under management to about $900 million across the globe. Moreover, in 2016, we have signed 14 advisory mandates and 6 MOUs across various member countries to materialize our continuous support to the development of member countries through advisory, building capacity, technical assistance, and partnership activities. In terms of our development impact, ICD managed to support businesses that have about 68,000 direct jobs and empower about 12,400 women through creating new job and supporting existing job in 2016. We also reached a total of 3,868 SMEs The projects supported were also instrumental in foreign currency inflow of around 135 million and tax revenue generating of approximately 275 million in the member countries. Of course, all of this is mentioned in our annual report, in development effectiveness, which we will also issue in these meetings. Today, ICD is witnessing much stronger financial and political support from all member countries as evidence of the recognition for its imperative role in the private sector development. Despite the uncertain global environment these days, which is characterized by multiple pockets of vulnerabilities, the ICD stands firm in delivering its development mandate with greater visions, more rigorous effort, and with much stronger partners. We can also be proud to say that since inception, ICD has delivered a record amount of nearly $5 billion in cumulative approval and almost $2.4 billion in disbursement for private sector development in its member countries. These endeavors would have not been possible without the blessing of Allah Almighty, that also close support and supervision and guidance from ICD board, our staff, and also strong trust and passion by our valuable clients. This is indeed the objective of this gathering today. We are here today to extend our thanks and appreciation to our clients for being so loyal to us. Although inviting and hosting all of our clients is not practical and possible, but we managed to bring few out of many to share their views and thoughts with us. While it was quite challenging and difficult, my colleagues tried, based on some financial and development impact criteria, to choose a few from many as our best clients. With this, I would like to keep my remark as short as possible to start our program. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Brother Khalid. Okay, so we're going to have a short video for the audience to just better appreciate the ICD and its operations. And we'll start this video now, please.
The Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector, ICD, is the private sector entity of the Islamic Development Bank Group. Since its inception, ICD has been active in over 30 countries, supporting over 350 projects and investing over $4.96 billion. ICD's vision is to identify promising private sector opportunities across its member countries to generate a positive economic and social impact for the prosperity of Islamic countries.
المؤسسة الإسلامية لتنمية القطاع الخاص أنشئت لدعم التنمية الاقتصادية في الدول الأعضاء من خلال تمويل مشاريع القطاع الخاص وتشجيع المنافسة وروح المبادرة وتقديم الخدمات الاستشارية للحكومات ودعم الاستثمارات العابرة للحدود.
Experience from other parts of the world have actually shown that when the private sector is given a bigger role in the economy, private sector tends to support positively the economies of these countries.
In order to maximize its impact and reach more SMEs in member countries, ICD operates according to a twofold investment strategy. One, direct investments and financing for larger scale projects. Two, channel financing, investing in local funds, leasing companies and Islamic banks.
In our business, we focus a lot on SMEs. Among other things we do, we created channels, which are financial institutions, focus on supporting the SMEs. We do create these institutions. We support them technically and financially to make sure that they extend financing to the SMEs in these countries.
ICD has formed the Ijara Management Company, IMC, in order to achieve its goal of setting up 20 leasing companies in 5 years.
Through IMC, ICD has created an excellent vehicle to set up Islamic leasing companies in various countries at a much quicker pace, bringing international best practices in the market. Ijara companies are very important for the growth of SMEs in these countries because in most of the cases, This is the only window available for them for their financing needs.
تركز المؤسسة بشكل أكبر على تطوير قنوات التمويل الإسلامي التي صممتها لنشر المنتجات المالية الإسلامية على نطاق واسع بهدف خلق أثر تنموي أكبر في الدول الأعضاء. ومن وسائل تحقيق هذا الهدف دعم إنشاء البنوك الإسلامية، شركات الاستثمار، شركات الإجارة، شركات التكافل وإعادة التكافل في الدول الأعضاء.
ICD delivers direct investment and financing for larger-scale projects, such as Alpha Reader in Jeddah, Rahim Afrouz Globat in Bangladesh, and H&D Industries in Senegal, just to name a few. In Europe, ICD is a major shareholder in the first Islamic leasing company in Albania, Albania Leasing, which has already provided over €5 million of financing since its inception in June 2014, financing the purchase of advanced technical equipment for a textile manufacturer and a dentistry clinic, among many other SMEs. Meanwhile, in Egypt, ICD is addressing the supply and demand gap of white sugar in the local market by establishing Al-Shakia Sugar, a greenfield project for sugar beet production and a sugar refining facility. ICD has provided a Murabaha financing agreement of $20 million in favor of ADES, an Egyptian company becoming a local champion in the strategic oil and gas sector. Heading to Turkey, ICD has extended a €30 million line of financing to Intercity, the largest operational leasing company in Turkey, with over 33,000 vehicles and around 14% share of the fleet rental market in the country. And a $20 million line of financing to Derindera, the second largest operational leasing company in the country. On a different sector, ICD has invested $2.3 million in Haliç, the only financial leasing company in Turkey that offers products that are in line with Sharia requirements for its clients. In Bangladesh, building on the success of Rahim Afrouz Globat, which exports batteries to over 50 countries, ICD's financing to the Abul Khair Steel project is expected to create over 3,000 direct and 100,000 indirect jobs, much needed in a country with over 40% unemployment. ICD has also financed the expansion of Noman Group, one of the leading vertically integrated textile groups in Bangladesh, by providing $30.5 million of financing for the setting up of a yarn unit and balancing a weaving line. Still in Bangladesh, ICD has provided $20 million leasing to the Pran RFL Group, one of the largest industrial conglomerates, to support the group decision to start manufacturing bicycles in order to alleviate commuting issues in a cost-effective manner, and to start a line for a cable manufacturing plant. Over in Senegal, Tamwheel Africa is spearheading the expansion of Islamic banking throughout the region, while the Islamic Bank of Senegal channels funds to local SMEs in Dakar and beyond.
Supporting SME is really essential for Islamic banking, and Islamic banking products are designed to support SME, and Tamil Africa banks are doing the same, and we enjoy the support from our main shareholder, who provide line of finance to our banks to support the SME.
In the same region, ICD is advising the West African Development BOAD on establishing an Islamic window, making it the first conventional development finance institution on the African continent. In the Maghreb, the Islamic Bank of Mauritania is providing much-needed financing to local SMEs, which account for 95% of Mauritania's economy. While in Yemen, Sabah Islamic Bank allocates 70% of its financing portfolio to SMEs and aims to be one of Yemen's top 3 banks. SMEs are also the focus in Saudi Arabia, with the Saudi Small and Medium Enterprise Fund identifying promising local businesses, such as the highly popular Cabrito restaurant chain, and supporting their growth plans through equity investment. On the real estate front, ICD is financially involved in the Alpha Reader residential project. ICD is an investor in Bidaya, a financing company aiming at increasing access to finance for middle-income home buyers across the kingdom. In the healthcare sector, ICD has provided $9 million financing for medical and non-medical equipment and working capital to the Al-Qadi Group, a Najran-based business house that has embarked on a new 100-bed hospital project in Najran city. In Azerbaijan, ICD channel funding partners Caspian International Investment Company and Ansar Leasing are financing and investing in local SMEs. In Baku, the Park Boulevard shopping mall, financed by ICD, has opened up shopping to tourists of all ages, with plans to expand in the near future. Amid the majestic waters of the Indian Ocean, the Islamic Bank of Maldives is growing both its deposit base and local project funding activity. Nearby, the ICD-funded Horizon Fisheries has given a huge boost to the nation's fishing industry, which now accounts for 13% of GDP and is the second largest foreign currency earner. Back in Central Asia, Uzbekistan's leading force credits its Murahaba agreement with ICD for its new stone crushing and asphalt projects, which it expects to triple revenues. Uzbek channel funding partner Tiber Leasing Company has already financed several projects and plans to grow quickly in the market, while Kazakhstan Ijara Company ramps up financing activities for local private sector entities. ICD's direct investments and its channel financing approach are having substantial developmental and economic impacts throughout all its member countries. ICD's ambitions are to make an even greater impact as it continues to identify promising private sector opportunities.
تعتبر المؤسسة رائدة في مجال التمويل الإسلامي وتسعى لأداء دور المحرك والمحفز للتغيير الاقتصادي.
ICD, because without the private sector, development will not be there.
Okay, I think through this video, the audience was able to really appreciate the ICD and all the operations that go behind what the ICD does. Not only do we work with clients, we also work with strategic partners. And one of those partners is Thomson Reuters, a leading research financial institution, or a leading research institution in finance. Now, we're happy to have Thomson Reuters with us today, presenting the Islamic Finance Outlook, while also featuring the Islamic Finance Development Indicator Report. Kindly help me welcome to the stage Mr. Mustafa Adil of Thomson Reuters to share this report. This is the laser, and that's the slide. Thank you very much.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. It gives me great pleasure to be here with you today at the 42nd annual meeting of the Islamic Development Bank to be part of the Clients Day for one of our key strategic partners, the Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector, and to present to you one of our very, very unique initiatives that is geared towards helping the growth and development of the Islamic finance industry around the world, our Islamic Finance Development Indicator. In my quick presentation, I will run you through what the indicator is, what it hopes to achieve, and what have been the results so far. One of the key challenges that exists within the Islamic finance industry is an absence of education, awareness, and intelligence. And this is something that we have seen across the globe. When we discuss with different markets, when we engage with different regulators, we find one of the key hurdles is an absence of understanding of what Islamic finance is and what value proposition it offers to different economies. And that is one of the challenges that we, in collaboration with our partners, the ICD, hope to address through the setting up of the Islamic Finance Development Indicator. What we wanted to do basically was to assess the industry not just from its core principles, not just in terms of total assets, but from a holistic approach. We wanted to evaluate the financial aspects of the industry, which includes profitability, growth rates, etc. But we also wanted to evaluate the management aspects. What are the governance principles surrounding the development of the industry? What are the key values that the industry should be addressing? What are the key CSR activities that the industry should be having a positive social impact around? And in addition to that, we also wanted to evaluate the ecosystem. What are the educational institutions that are supporting the development of the industry in different markets? How well positioned are different markets to spur the growth of this industry, both domestically and regionally? And that was our primary driver when we looked at setting up the Islamic Finance Development Indicator. We also knew that evaluating different dimensions would be a challenge, and we based our indicator on 3 key principles. The principles of simplification, having underlying data that can be easily understood by the broad market and can be utilized for strategic decision making. Quantification, we wanted different dimensions to be comparable. We wanted different countries to be comparable to give a fair assessment that is not biased based on different stages of development or different sizes of their economies. And finally, we wanted clear communication. We wanted to articulate what the underlying measures mean for different countries and how they can be used to help steer national agendas or agendas at different financial institution levels to support the development of the industry. And this is where we work to set up the Islamic Finance Development Indicator. We are in our 5th year running, and alhamdulillah, we've had great success working with many different governments, which I will come to, on helping driving the global Islamic finance industry forward. In terms of our target audience, we have a number of markets. We have certain key regions that we have looked at. But really the key distinguishing factor of the indicator is the key dimensions that we are considering. The indicator has 5 key dimensions that we look at, which we feel are critical to the development of any healthy ecosystem for the Islamic finance industry. Obviously, quantitative development, how the industry fares in terms of different institutions, in terms of financials, in terms of assets and profitability is very significant. But in addition, we also look at the knowledge infrastructure. What are the educational institutions that are helping drive this industry in different markets? What is the research that is being produced to promote product development and social impact for Islamic financial institutions? We look at governance. What are the regulations that are in place? What Sharia governance instruments are in place, and what corporate governance instruments are in place? Because all of this is very much aligned to the principles of Islamic finance in terms of the achievement it wants to get. We look at corporate social responsibility. What is the value of funds that are being distributed in different markets? And more importantly, what is the level of disclosure? And is it sufficient, or do we need to develop that? And finally, we look at awareness. How much awareness of Islamic finance is being developed in different demographics and different circles to be able to utilize this instrument effectively to achieve the economic development that it aims to achieve. We have, over the last few years, launched the indicator in many different markets. In China, Indonesia, Bahrain, we've been affiliated with some of the most prestigious Islamic finance events around the world, and it has really become a showpiece of the industry. It's become a global reference point, and is very often utilized by different markets to launch their different initiatives. We've also worked with various different governments at different levels. We've worked with regulators, we've worked with investment promotion agencies and others who are looking at Islamic finance as a key strategic driver for the development of their local economies and their local infrastructure, and have partnered with us and ICD to help roll out and develop and benefit from the key findings of the indicator for their respective markets. I would like to quickly touch upon the findings of the latest indicator, which was launched towards the end of last year at the World Islamic Banking Conference in Bahrain, and also in the World Islamic Economic Forum in Indonesia. In terms of countries, we find that Malaysia takes the lead, as is expected given the advanced infrastructure they have. We see Bahrain and UAE coming in 2nd and 3rd. We see all the GCC countries in the top 10, and we see a number of other developing Islamic finance markets such as Pakistan, Jordan, Indonesia, all playing a role in the top 10. But what is even more interesting is the new entrants that are entering the market, right? We see places like South Africa, Morocco, Tanzania, Japan, Russia, all increasing their infrastructure development across the 5 pillars in the Islamic finance industry to help position the industry as a key pillar of their economic growth going forward. In terms of quantitative development, the indicator is an excellent knowledge resource as well. We have looked at the financial statements of every single Islamic bank that discloses financials, the Takaful companies, Ijara companies, other financial institutions. When people say the industry is worth $2 trillion, our database does a bottom-up build-up of the $2 trillion, where you can match dollar to dollar exactly where that money is coming from which market and which segment. We project that this is expected to increase to $3.5 trillion by 2021. We know that there's over 1,300 Islamic finance institutions around the world, predominantly Islamic banks, a number of Takaful companies. We project that they're expected to grow at a rate of 7.5% year on year. And we also know there's over 2,000 Sukuk instruments that are currently outstanding in the market and over 1,000 active Islamic funds that are also operating. From an educational point of view, we also find a number of interesting insights. Over the last 3 years, we know there's been over 2,200 research papers that have been issued on Islamic finance industry, and we consider this to be critical, and we see this as a growth trend. And some of the key insights that the industry is looking at, in addition to product development, is also the impact the Islamic finance ecosystem has on their local markets. We know that there's over 600 different institutions around the world that are providing Islamic finance education. There's over 121 professional qualification providers. And what is very interesting is that over a quarter of the global providers of Islamic finance education actually come from Muslim minority countries. So we see increasingly in Muslim minority countries the value proposition of Islamic finance being recognized and being increasingly embedded within their educational syllabi to basically spread the information and the value that the Islamic finance industry can provide. In terms of governance, we also see very interesting insights. There's over 35 countries today that offer some form of Islamic finance regulation. We know that the industry has over 1,000 scholars that are actively engaging with different financial institutions. What is very interesting is that of the 1,000 scholars, there's nearly 700 scholars that serve on a single board. So although there's a lot of talk in the industry about the industry not being diversified from a scholar representation perspective, what we do find is that there is, by and large, significant, diversification in terms of scholars having single board representation, with obviously some scholars that have extra exposure. In terms of a CSR indicator, it is something that is not, as we would hope the industry to be in terms of the disclosures. We know that of the total disclosed CSR funds that are disclosed in financial statements, it adds up to about $672 million. We know that this is significantly understating the CSR activities that the industry provides. What we also find when we look at the financial disclosures of Islamic banks is out of 11 disclosures that we would hope to achieve, there's an average of 2.8 disclosures that are given. The average Islamic bank does not disclose their CSR activities effectively, and this has been one of the key insights that we have identified, and we're working with many of our partners to help implement better disclosures so that the true value and impact of these activities can be effectively measured going forward. And finally, when we look at awareness, this is, I think, one of the great success stories for Islamic finance, where it has been able to achieve great awareness both in Muslim majority and Muslim minority countries. We have over 100 conferences, 200 seminars around the world covering Islamic finance. We have around the world over 18,000 unique news stories every year on the Islamic finance industry. This is a staggering amount. It's got global coverage, it covers every single region, and we see that this is one area where Islamic finance has been gaining significantly in terms of awareness, and we think this is a great starting point to build on and to develop a more holistic industry. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my very short presentation. I would encourage you very much to log on to the website of the Islamic Finance Development Indicator, which is at zavia.com. It is an interactive indicator. You can find all the underlying databases that we've used for our analysis. You can find how different countries fare against each other, and you can drill down to this data. We hope that this will be very helpful, and we hope that we will continue to work with you all to further develop the Islamic finance industry through these and other research initiatives. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you again, Mustafa. I guess what's striking to me is the fact that some of these Islamic financial institutions are not really partaking in CSR's activities. to think just the inherent characteristic of Islamic finance and its ethical, attributes, and the fact that they're not. So this is something quite interesting. With that, now it's to the award ceremony. What we want to do now is ask Brother Khalid Al-Aboudi, our CEO, to come up to the stage, and we're going to call up on our 3 clients. And what we're going to do is award each client their award, and then we'll have a group photo, after which we'll give the floor to each client to present a little bit about their company. So Brother Khalid, please welcome to the stage. It's just right here is fine. And our first client for today, receiving the ICD Client Award, is Chorus Bank International. We're delighted to be working with Chorus Bank. It's a two-way relationship. Thank you. I ask for you to remain on stage if you don't mind. Our second client is Vetamed. Vetamed. You can see Vetamed is obviously in the healthcare, and Chorus Bank is in the financial sector. And now, our last client for the award ceremony is Al-Qadi Hospital. Obviously, Al-Qadi Hospital is again in the healthcare sector. So we'll have a group photo now for all our clients. So we got the financing correct, so let's get the photo correct here too, inshallah. All right. And we really thank all our clients for joining us today. So now we're going to keep the floor to Mr. Randall. He's the manager of Al-Qadi Hospital here in Saudi Arabia, to talk a little bit about what they do and how the ICD has helped their operations. Randall, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here and represent Al-Qadi Specialty Hospital. Very briefly, this morning I want to tell you a story, an amazing story of a journey between Al-Qadi Group and ICD for a private sector solution to a major deficit in the private healthcare market in the south of Saudi Arabia. For those of you who don't know, Najran is the capital of the province of Najran. It's the extreme southern part of Saudi Arabia. Najran is a relatively new city, one of the fastest growing in Saudi Arabia, and it sits about 40 kilometers north of Yemen, right on the edge of the empty quarter. It's not quite the end of the yellow brick road, but it's close to it in Saudi Arabia. The Al-Qadi Group has a long history in diversified business and specific to healthcare. 29 years ago, the group started a network of polyclinics and pharmacies in the Najran area. 10 years ago, the chairman of the Al-Qadi Group, Mr. Ali Al-Qadi, had the vision of creating an international tertiary level surgical hospital in Najran. It's a crazy idea. Why do a high-level hospital in Najran? And his answer was very simple. He'd sit at the gate at the airport in Najran and see people every flight to Jeddah, to Riyadh, with x-rays in their hands, medical records under their arms, 3, 5, 8 people every flight leaving Najran for their health care. Najran is the capital of the province. It's a new city, yet it wasn't filling the basic needs of health care that the community needed. So in 2010, he started this dream, started this crazy idea, and started construction on the hospital. 2012, he formed a partnership with American Hospital Management Company out of Washington, D.C. to operate and manage the hospital within the Al-Qadi Group. Things are moving well. Construction's winding down in 2015. We're getting ready to do what we think is the easy part of a new hospital project, and that's equip it. And then something totally out of our control happened, a conflict in Yemen. So why the need in the community for private health care continued to exist, and the opportunity for the private sector to fill that need exist, the conflict in Yemen created significant angst in the capital markets. It was difficult with the conflict in Yemen to quantify risk. ICD actually began our relationship before the conflict in Yemen, when a lot of people didn't want to go to Najran, put projects on hold. ICD stood with us. Their commitment, their dedication to the project, to the community of Najran was unwavering. Al-Qadi Hospital is actually the 8th hospital that I've opened in my career internationally. I've done a few in the States, and I've done 8 internationally. Opening a hospital is a lot like running a marathon. Many people start a marathon. Very few finish the 26.2 miles. The issues with Yemen and the capital markets in the southern part of Saudi was about mile marker 23 or 24. We've run a long way, but we haven't got to the finish line yet. ICD stood with us. ICD never wavered. We were able to complete the hospital, open it up in 2016, a time when other projects were either closing or being paused in Najran. With ICD, we moved forward. We opened the hospital, created 280 new high-skilled jobs in Najran, healthcare professionals who would typically have to leave Najran to practice their skill were now able to stay home. Most importantly, is patients were able to stay home. In our little more than a year history at Al-Qadi Specialty Hospital, we've had many firsts, particularly in areas of surgery, bone and joint, total joint replacement, ACL reconstruction, nerve repair, nerve revisions, nerve transplants, GIT. These were all patients who had to leave Najran before. They can now stay close to home. So on behalf of the ownership and board of directors of the Al-Qadi Group, the staff and the employees of Al-Qadi Hospital, we'd like to thank ICD. You've been an outstanding partner, and for the people of Najran, we say thank you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Randall. It's actually very nice to hear from our clients, and the fact that the ICD has helped create 280 jobs for our healthcare sector is quite profound. Please help me welcome to the stage our next client, Vitamed. and Mr. Sanjar Akbarov.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والآخبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Sanjar Akbarov, and I would like to present here Vitamed Medical Clinic from Uzbekistan. And first of all, I and our company would like to thank IDB, ICD, and organizers of this event on behalf of our company and my own for the invitation on the best conditions provided. Next slide, please. I can call the Vitamed Medical project is the result and the example of excellent cooperation of the project owner, ICD, and other partners. Vitamed Medical is a new generation of the medical treatment and diagnostic center in Tashkent city, meeting international standards for diagnostics and treatment and equipped with the unique, highly technological imaging, surgery, therapeutic, and laboratory equipments, which offers patients the stress-free, friendly home atmosphere and hospital care provided by qualified personnel. The center is equipped with the latest unique medical technologies produced and installed mainly branded German companies such as Siemens, Sirona, Karl Storz, Dagger, Weinmann, and others. The center can serve over 1,200 patients every day. And the first visit to Medanta Clinic in New Delhi, India. In 2010, Mr. Nadir Akbarov had visited the Medanta Clinic for the treatment of his Thank you. And during his stay in Medanta, he met with Dr. Naresh Trihan, one of the world's best cardiosurgeons and the founder of Medanta, and learned that only Medanta receives more than 200 patients from just Uzbekistan. And that was just only small of the patients who wished to come to Medanta. But due to the financial instability, many of them cannot leave it to themselves. As the project owner before did not have any experience in hospital projects, it was a greenfield project to him, so he needed a good partner with rich experience in hospital project. And this was Medanta, which was supporting this idea. Medanta, the Med City, is one of the largest in this multi-specialty institute, was founded by eminent cardiosurgeon Dr. Naresh Trihan. The technical partnership agreement was signed between the Medanta, the Med City, and Vitamed Medical with the possibility of extensions. Sorry. The project costs. The best local and Medanta specialists were involved for the project development. The owner wanted to launch best medical center in Uzbekistan that could become in future as Medanta Clinic, like in a branch of Medanta Clinic. It was decided to realize this project in several stages. In the first stage, it was in a plan to open a multifunctional medical and diagnostic center in Tashkent, equipped with the best medical technologies. Total cost of the project, about $20 million, in which 50% of which was invested by the owner of the project in the form of building, with the main accessories, furniture, communication, as well as working capital and financial expense. The other 50%, the project cost about more than 10 million US dollars. Funds were required from outside for the procurement of the medical equipment by ICD. It was beginning in 2012 when we were looking for the financing of the project. To that time, the owner was already negotiating with the ICD financing of another project, factory project in Uzbekistan. During one of the visits of the ICD CEO, Brother Khalid Al-Abudi, in Tashkent, Mr. Nadir Akbarov met with him and told him about the project VitaMed Medical that was realizing. It's besides the Al-Sis project, and wished to have Sharia complaint financing also for this project. They visited the building of the medical center, and after, Brother Khalid Al-Abudi said that ICD can receive the project for financing. After carefully study of the project and the market by the specialist of ICD, led by Brother Khalid Al-Abudi, the project was approved, and the main conditions of the facilities main condition of the Murabaha facility agreement, it was signed. Facility provider, Islamic Corporation for the Development of the Private Sector, approved amount 10 million US dollars. Total facility tenure 7 years, including 1 year grace period. Repayment period 6 months. Security package and unconditional and renewable bank guarantee from Asaka Bank of Uzbekistan covering 100% of the total facility amount, plus the markup due for the repayment period. Purpose: the finance the procurement of medical equipment, furniture and fixture required for the operation of the medical center. Beneficiary: foreign enterprise VitaMed Medical. Mode of finance: Murabaha. Taking an opportunity of this moment, once again I wanted to thank Brother Khalid Al-Abudi for his personal support and other ICD staff by Brother Said bin Ahmad, Brother Mabroor, Brother Asif Mahmoud, Brother Sheikh Omar Silla, Brother Himmatullah Burif, Brother Jihun, Brother Ahmad Al-Akwa, Brother Muhammad Musadrana, Brother Isa Imambayev, and others. In January 22, 2016, the medical center was opened in Tashkent. Our partners, many esteemed guests, representatives of government bodies and embassies were invited to the launching ceremony of the medical center. Next slide. By realizing the VitaMed Medical project could provide access to the medical treatment and diagnostic services meeting international standards equipped by the unique, highly technological imaging, surgery, therapeutic, and laboratory equipment for the people of Uzbekistan and other borders countries in the region. Regular free OPDs by the Medanta doctors for the patients, opened 200 and more new workplaces for the high qualified specialists, provided improvement of the knowledge and experiences of the doctors by organizing training seminars, scientific practical conferences, and round tables. Within a short period of the VitaMed Medical Clinic, organized more than 30 OPDs by the doctors of Medanta, about 20 seminars, scientific practical conferences, and round table led by the best local and foreign professors and doctors, more than 30 doctors and other specialists of VitaMed Medical past training in Medanta and other foreign clinics. Uzbekistan is a densely populated country in the region. Today's population about more than 32 million people and annual growth about 2% every year. There's a big demand for the medical services in our country. The government is greatly supporting medical services sector as well as the other social sectors in the country. VitaMed Medical also does not stop on achievement. It plans expansions of the center. As the next stage, we plan to build a new 7-stored, 9,000 square meters area building in the territory adjacent to the current building. This building will provide an additional extension of the operation theaters, a full rehabilitation centers with the exercise therapy, balneology, massage, spin traction, swimming pool, and so on. After realizing the second stage of the project, we are also planning to open branches in other regions of Uzbekistan. The branches will be opened in densely populated regions in Uzbekistan, such as Fergana Valley, Samarkand, and Khorazm regions. We have already been approached by several clinics in Tashkent city and regions who wish to establish partnership relations with the VitaMed Medical. We would be very glad to continue our cooperation with ICD and the realization of the next phases of our VitaMed Medical project and other projects in Uzbekistan. We also would like to cooperate with the Taiba leasing, with our small projects. We have already faced the CEO of the Taiba leasing on this issue and hope for positive response from them. And the last, I would like to just say thank for ICD and his partners and Annual Meta Secretary that gives an opportunity just to participate in such kind of event. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you, Sinjar. It's interesting to hear, again, the ICD intervention there in Uzbekistan and how it benefited the healthcare needs of that country. Our last client that was awarded today is represented by Sister Kinda, and please help me welcome the Chorus Bank International and Sister Kinda for her presentation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ok, merci. Okay. Donc, tout le privilège est pour moi ce matin de vous faire cette présentation. Donc, au nom du président directeur général du groupe Chorus Bank qui est là, qui m'autorise de faire cette présentation à sa place. Donc, c'est une présentation qui va se dérouler autour de 4 points. Ok. Donc, dans un premier temps, nous allons faire une présentation générale de Chorus Bank. Ensuite, suivra la stratégie de mise en place de la fenêtre islamique au niveau de la banque. Ensuite, nous allons vous dérouler un peu comment se passe la coopération entre ICD et Chorus Bank. Et enfin, nous allons vous présenter brièvement la vision et nos perspectives en matière de finances islamiques. Donc, il faut dire que Chorus Bank est une banque à vision panafricaine, donc qui a vu le jour au Burkina Faso en 2008. Donc, dès sa création, c'était une banque qui ambitionnait de devenir une référence en matière de services bancaires pour l'accompagnement des permis et des particuliers en Afrique. Donc, pour atteindre cette ambition, elle a engagé une stratégie de développement. Donc, cette stratégie a consisté déjà à l'interne de travailler à la construction d'un des plus importants réseaux d'agences de la place, avec un maillage du territoire et une diversification par la création de filiales spécialisées dans d'autres métiers et de la finance. Donc, et à l'international, donc, avec l'implantation de filiales et de succursales. Donc, aujourd'hui, nous pouvons dire que le groupe Chorus Bank, c'est un groupe financier qui est riche de 4 métiers que sont la banque avec 4 filiales opérationnelles qui sont le Burkina Faso, au Mali, en Côte d'Ivoire, au Togo, et également 2 succursales du Burkina Faso. La filiale du Burkina Faso a 2 succursales, qui sont le Sénégal et le Bénin. Donc, au niveau de l'assurance, dans le secteur de l'assurance, nous avons essentiellement 2 sociétés, Coris Assurance et Coris IAED. Coris Assurance Vie et Coris IAED. Nous avons également une société d'intermédiation boursière et de gestion d'actifs que sont Coris Bourse et Coris Asset Management. Nous avons une société d'investissement et de conseil qui est Coris Capital. Donc, Coris Bank a réussi à se positionner comme un acteur incontournable sur la place du Burkina, donc en maintenant d'année en année ce cap de croissance et en renforçant sa statut de banque innovante au service de l'Afrique. Donc, comment s'est passée donc la mise en place de la fenêtre islamique au niveau de Coris Bank? Donc, conformément à sa vision, et dans le souci d'apporter toujours des solutions innovantes à sa clientèle. Donc, c'est ainsi que Coris Bank a, dès 2012, entamé cette procédure d'aller à la finance islamique. Donc, c'est un processus qui a commencé déjà par une recherche documentaire et tout. Et c'est à partir de 2012 déjà que ce processus a été enclenché. Et pour pouvoir réussir cette mission-là, pour pouvoir réussir cette mise en place de sa fenêtre islamique, elle s'est appuyée donc sur la forte expertise de la Société islamique de développement, qui est la filiale de la Banque islamique de développement. Donc, il y a eu un premier contact qui s'est établi à Dakar grâce au bureau régional de la BID. Et ce contact-là s'est établi courant juin 2014. Donc, le processus de mise en place, comme je le disais tantôt, qui a été entamé en 2012, s'est soldé avec l'ouverture de la filiale, l'ouverture de la fenêtre islamique en 2015, essentiellement en juillet 2015. Donc, il y a eu différentes étapes qui ont permis la mise en place de cette entité-là. Donc, nous avons d'abord les aspects réglementaires. Donc, la mise en place a nécessité de pouvoir réunir certains aspects réglementaires. Donc, ces aspects réglementaires la démarche a consisté d'abord à soumettre l'idée aux autorités de tutelle, qu'est la BCAO. Donc, elle a donc été approchée pour les aspects réglementaires. Donc, une documentation complète a ensuite été fournie, ainsi que la lettre d'information au moment où nous nous préparions à ouvrir cette fenêtre islamique. Nous avons également une entité comme le Trésor également qui a été approchée, et ensuite nous avons la direction des impôts. Donc, l'accompagnement de ICD. Donc, l'accompagnement, comme je le disais tantôt, il y a eu un accord de partenariat que nous avons signé, que Coris Bank a signé en 2014, qui a permis au projet d'avancer significativement. Donc, l'accompagnement a consisté sur les points suivants, notamment la formation, donc, où ICD a formé plus de 40 personnes de Coris Bank, aussi bien en termes de formation pratique qu'en termes de formation théorique. Nous avons eu également bénéficié, par rapport à cet accompagnement, de l'assistance, du conseil, de la rédaction de toute la documentation. Donc, il y a eu également une assistance au niveau du système d'information, donc sur les aspects marketing et communication, et enfin sur la mise en place même du comité Sharia. Donc, et également après la mise en place, donc, et le lancement effectif de l'activité, donc la banque a sollicité auprès de l'ICD l'octroi d'une ligne de financement sous forme de Wakala, donc destinée au financement justement des PME et des PMI. Donc la CID, donc, dans sa mission de développement du secteur privé et de promotion de la finance islamique et la facilitation à l'accès au financement des PME, a bien voulu donc accéder à cette demande après une évaluation du risque par une due diligence et une présentation du dossier au bord. Donc, l'obtention de la ligne de financement de la ICD. Voilà, donc effectivement, la signature du contrat pour la ligne de CBI est intervenue le 14 juin 2016 pour un montant de 17 millions d'euros. Donc, la gestion efficace et efficiente du dossier par la CID a permis donc de boucler le processus en moins de 5 mois. Donc, il y a l'étude pour l'octroi de la ligne de financement de la filiale du Mali qui est en cours et donc qui devrait aboutir dans les jours à venir. Nous avons également des demandes de ligne pour les autres entités du groupe qui vont suivre bientôt. Voilà, je me rends compte que je ne suis pas un peu en phase. Voilà. Donc, que pouvons-nous tirer de l'expérience de la coopération avec la CID? Donc, de ce partenariat, nous disons que c'est un partenariat exemplaire. Donc, nous avons remarqué également de la part de nos partenaires une disponibilité et du professionnalisme, de la flexibilité, une subvention au niveau du coût de la coopération, un transfert de compétences qui s'est passé dans de très bonnes conditions, un accompagnement et le conseil, une autorité de conformité, assurant une crédibilité de l'activité et une confiance de la clientèle et des partenaires. Surtout, nous avons également remarqué qu'il y a eu un respect des délais et des objectifs visés. Donc, au niveau du suivi évaluation, une mission d'évaluation qui est passée en 2016 pour pouvoir permettre de savoir que la fenêtre islamique fonctionne conformément. Et également, nous avons pu bénéficier également de la CID, un lobbying auprès des partenaires, la sensibilisation et l'éducation de la clientèle. Donc, nous avons également l'accompagnement dont j'ai parlé tantôt dans le développement de l'activité à travers l'octroi de la ligne de financement. Donc, il faut dire que dans la mise en place de la fenêtre islamique, nous avons rencontré également des difficultés au niveau du cadre réglementaire, donc au niveau de la fiscalité, la connaissance des contraintes et implications fiscales des produits de la finance islamique, au niveau des reporting, conformité des produits de la finance islamique au niveau de la Banque centrale BCAO, qui aujourd'hui, Dieu merci, ils sont en train de mettre en œuvre un cadre réglementaire qui devrait également permettre également l'activité de la finance au niveau des banques. Nous avons la formation des agents également, un travail qui nécessite un apprentissage continu. Donc aujourd'hui, il faut dire que sur le marché, les cadres qui sont déjà formés et au niveau pour l'activité islamique ne sont pas encore monnaie courante, comme on le dit. Donc, quelle est la vision et les perspectives du groupe Coris Bank en matière de finances islamiques? Donc, la vision de Coris Bank, c'est d'être l'institution une IFI de référence. Voilà, être une IFI de référence pour l'accompagnement des PME, PMI et des particuliers en Afrique. Et pour cela, pour atteindre cette vision, donc, la banque a les perspectives souvent. Donc, nous dirons que Coris Bank aujourd'hui, c'est un groupe bancaire qui est fort de sa vision, qui est fort également du potentiel de la finance islamique, aussi bien dans le monde de façon générale et en Afrique en particulier, et surtout dans la zone UOMOA. Donc, de l'expérience que l'on pourrait dire réussie pour la filiale, de la mise en place de la filiale islamique au niveau du Burkina Faso et du partenariat avec ICD. Donc, Coris Bank a pour perspective à très court terme donc, le lancement de fenêtres islamiques dans toutes les filiales bancaires du groupe. Donc, et pour cela interviendra très bientôt la signature même avec ICD pour la mise en place des fenêtres islamiques dans 2 filiales et les 2 succursales. Donc, à moyen terme, le groupe ambitionne donc l'ouverture d'une filiale full islamique. Donc voilà, Madame et Messieurs, ce que nous avons à présenter pour le compte de Coris Bank. Merci, je vous remercie.
Thank you, Sister Kinda, for sharing with us again another experience of one of our ICD's clients. Now with that, dear audience, you've managed to hear from 3 different clients in 3 different regions on their experiences with working with the ICD. We hope that now you better appreciate what the ICD does and the kind of challenges that we also face in our member countries. I'd like to remind the audience that every day at 1:30 at the exhibit hall across the hotel over here, the ICD will also share with you some other research items, some papers, and some presentations. So we look forward to your participation over there as well. And also tomorrow we're having an all-day event, the private sector day event, and we encourage all of you to attend that also tomorrow. With those words, I want to thank you for your attendance today, and please enjoy the festive day remaining. Thank you again for your time.
نزرع من البريك دلوقتي